I am in Texas, and when you're in Texas, Valley says I got to hold the hammer the entire time. I'm not going to do it, but I'm worthy.
You need to be worthy. You need to be worthy to be in here.
So we've got an exciting information to share with you today. We were in a developer call with Ryan Jacobson, and he talked about a graphics overhaul. He talked about Battleworld. He talked about moments. He talked about a new token system. He talked about a lot of things. Some of it was exciting. He talked about fixes to existing game modes that he potentially wanted to implement. Yes. But I got to say, I liked the call. I thought all of it was okay. If it actually gets implemented, I'm skeptical that they're going to implement everything, though, right?
I think they want everything to be upgraded. Yeah. It's just. Do they have the dev hours? Do they have the time? Can they go back? Is there too many things in the pipeline? And are there going to be new bugs created that they have to shift those hours onto? But I think they want everything to be implemented that they talked about here.
So the first thing that he talked about was the arena system, and he kind of slipped up and started talking about the moments section, the moments system. What are we going to call them? Moments. But the first thing he said that caught my attention is that he did not like the slingshot mechanic at all. And he actually referred to it as a problem because we've been talking about this for like 5 or 6 years now, how when you're, the end of your payout is going, you're attacking number one, you finish 15 seconds before the payout, but then somebody's attacking you.
That happened last night.
Yes.
I was in the top 20. I got 33 from slingshotting.
Yeah, you get
right at the end.
And then you get, you'll be thinking you're going to land at number one because you won the match, right? You win the match and you come out of the battle and you're like 13th. And you go, So terrible garbage. And in the past, they were dismissive of the community, and they say, it's just the way it is. They were dismissive.
That's the way, I thought, all right, it sucks, but I guess it sucks both ways. It sucks. I've climbed with it, too, but normally I'm dropping
back with it. And I always felt like that was a lame answer, and like they were, and like then he's like, no, I hate this.
Yeah.
And I want to fix it. And then, so that was interesting. We'll see if we finish. But then he also talked about how he preferred the arena meta when it was diverse rather than mirror matches. I think if we go back and look at Infinity Watch versus Infinity Watch, that was...
Or Black Order, those 2 times were bad.
And so he was talking about that, and then he slipped up and started talking about moments. And he said that moments will make the arena more diverse. Now, we don't exactly know what moments are. What was your take on moments? Because they've mentioned it in like a strike pass and
in the 2023 preview. They mentioned moments, and what you talked about that before. What it brought to my mind is kind of like the extension of ISO 8, where you could upgrade characters in different ways. And I'm not sure how that's going to bring diversity to meta, because I would think everybody would upgrade the same characters. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, but it's going to be a way to upgrade our characters even more.
Right.
Other than that, I don't know.
I did some research on moments in the WWE Champions game, which is a Scopely game, and they have moments in there.
Okay.
And it was a system where you upgraded a team.
Okay.
So it was stats for a team, like let's say X-Men, and then you get the moments for the X-Men, and the X-Men get the various stats, and then you can upgrade the stats for the team. We will have to see how that plays out. A lot of people thought moments were going to be like Datacrons, which is in Galaxy of Heroes, which gives stat boosts to the team, but it's not to a specific team. And then they also expire like over a 90-day period. A lot of people are skeptical of that. They were pretty enthusiastic as being new and different than the existing upgrade mechanics in Marvel Strike Force. Now,
I just don't want it to expire.
Well, the expire thing will
I don't like that.
Not go well. Okay, so the next thing is that they talked about Battleworld.
Yes.
And then the same thing happened. He was asked a question about Battleworld, and then he started talking about this totally overhauled upgrade to the existing graphics in the game. So what did he say about Battleworld, firstly?
They're still working on it. They're still working on it. They're working the boss mechanics now. They're trying to figure that part out. They are trying to tweak it to see how many times you need to beat the boss. Does the boss get stronger as you beat it? So they're trying to figure out what is the best thing for that. But this graphic update should come before Battleworld. So what are you most excited about this graphic update?
Well, the part about the Battleworld that I liked, it sounded like that he was implementing a shift in the change.
Their deadlines.
Like he said in the past before he took over everything was deadline, ship it broken.
Yeah.
Like you're
going to meet the deadline no matter what.
Yes. And he said he didn't want to operate like that, and he didn't want Marvel Strike Force to be on deadline, which the bad news is it sounds like Battleworld was delayed or has been delayed to whatever their internal timetable by as much as 4 months. Now, I don't know if that means that it's supposed to come out next month and it's not coming out for 4 months after that, or if it was supposed to come out a month ago. But he suggested that they wanted to get it right rather than pushing it out. And then he said, well, what we do have right and we're going to be giving to us soon was something called, and he had an acronym, and I don't know what it means, but it was some sort of rendering pipeline. He kept calling it URP.
Yeah.
He said the game should look better. Silver Surfer's going to look shinier, and we're going to be able to get new environments because we've had a total of one new environment since the game came out over 6 years ago, and that was for Cosmic Crucible. But some of the original environments that we got are kind of lame. We got one with deer walking around. We got one with butterflies.
Land with no Savage Land characters.
Yeah, you got snakes. Like, is this even the Marvel universe? It almost doesn't feel like Marvel at times. So hopefully we're going to get more environments. He mentioned two that I was pretty excited about. It was Kiln, and what was the other one?
Danger Room.
Danger Room.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense with the X-Men 97 out and all that stuff. So hopefully we're going to get things. The next thing that he talked about...
Let me go back to it, because they're updating the back end of the game. They haven't really done that. We had one of the big surprises we had at the Envoy Summit a few months ago. They hardly done any back-end updates for the entire life of the game. So this is one that they're implementing for the graphics. So they should be able to get other things, not just environments, but update graphics a lot easier once this goes down. So I'm excited for this and a lot of the back-end work that they're doing.
Right. Then the next part they talked about was the new player system. And I'm not going to go into that a lot because I don't think that in-game players care that much, but they were talking about they're going to have to rework Apocalypse somehow so that it's more friendly. I know this. Obviously, they were doing testing, and they're not acknowledging that they did testing. There was the A/B testing, right? Obviously, if something was happening. But on Friday's blog post, they said that there's a new system out there for new players, and for me, I'm going to start a new player account, so stay tuned. When I get back from Texas Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to start a brand new account from scratch, free to play. Going to be making tons of videos, so if you have any friends and family that are just starting Marvel Strike Force, send them my way. What do you think about
That's the official announcement Friday. They didn't officially say, all right, our A/B testing is done, now you can start. But I think that was what the underlying message of Friday's blog post is, that our A/B testing is done. So if you want to tell your friends to start it, then now is the time to do it.
Yep. So the other thing that they talked about when they were talking about the new player experience is something to do with tokens. And I don't know if this is going to matter to us that much. It feels like it's kind of like that time heist thing. So there's this time heist.
Free time heist.
Yeah. Like time heist is this thing where you buy it and you can spend up to $330. It's meant to accelerate people through getting... from early game to mid game, right?
Getting their characters up to certain levels and gear and all that.
So you apply your token to Sam Wilson, right? And then Sam Wilson goes to like level 80, gear tier 15. He has all the purple ability materials. Maybe he has green ISO 5 equipped, and it's meant to speed up the process and make it easier for players to get up and running, I guess.
Less resources, less button clicking, make it easier.
I think I'll care about that if I can take a character instantly to level 100.
I'm hoping eventually down the road they extend this to endgame players, and we will get something for level 100 and stuff like that. So I hope they can extend this down the road. I hope this is just a start.
The main idea of that part of the conversation is that system is ready to go, but they didn't know how to implement it. And it sounded like he was also shying away from it being heavily monetized.
Yeah, more for a catch up is kind of how I got it. It's more for players to catch up rather than a way for them to make money like Time Heist.
Yep. All right, the next part was probably the most interesting part to me, and the question was around how everybody seems to be liking the predictable nature of characters that, non-dark promotion credit characters, but the predictable nature of getting characters to 7 yellows. So like, for example, the next character that we're expecting, the next set of characters we're expecting to be farmable is going to be Extreme X-Men. And even though they've said nothing, we've done the math and we know that Sunspot and Forge and Nightcrawler probably are going to be farmable on the 15th. We've done the math.
They've been releasing like team by team, not one character. Like the last one we had like a full team. So yeah.
Yeah. And so hands down, this is great. This is great, right? This is great. And so it's like, why can't you guys do this?
Other stuff, not just characters.
Yeah. Why don't we have some sort of like plan or a known plan to the community so we have reasonable expectations on Crimson Gear or Green Goblin?
Awakened abilities.
So like, and he agreed. He's like, yeah. Like we need to have like a system. He called it he talked about creating like an internal
a Bible for them. Then for the all right, if we get Crimson Gear at this date, this is when it's going to be available to players. Now I don't think they're going to make that public, but they're going to have that instead of just random stuff that they are doing right now.
Yeah, because right now, like, and he even mentioned the Green Goblin Awakened abilities, like. Whatever it is, 6 months, like if you spend, because you had to spend a lot of money to get those, right? You had to buy the expensive offers when it launched. And is that going to be an exclusive for 6 months? Well, the community should know what that is going to be. And so he was trying to nail that down and give a little bit more predictable nature. So I do like this. And I'm going to give you an example of what I do like is like Zombie Iron Man was done a certain way. And now they're doing Zombie Juggernaut similar.
Different. Earlier.
Yeah, it's just I feel like they did this time last year for Zombie Iron Man. There was a period in the middle where you could buy more offers, and there was like they reran the event. It was in the spring.
I totally forgot about that.
And they're doing it again, so I like that very much. Now let's go and talk about something that I thought was a big fail in the conversation. In a way, we start talking about the compression of the Cosmic Crucible trophies. So what's happening is that the number of players that are getting the best rewards keep shrinking and shrinking. And so like if here was the top rewards and here was like the lowest rewards and there was a large number of players up here, a large number of players, what's happened is now there's a very few number of players up here and everybody's getting like the middle of the rewards. It almost sounded like he hadn't heard of that.
That was surprising. That he hadn't heard. But I thought that was our fault. I thought it was our fault as content creators. We didn't push that message far enough that it didn't get reached to him. But the good thing is he knows about it now, but I didn't think that was him. I think that was us. We got to push that stuff a little bit more.
It sounded like he wanted to know more about that. And so like he's like, yeah, write something up and send it over and we'll
that was a little disappointing that they weren't already started to work on that issue.
It was like an unknown thing. It was like I don't know if it was the first time he heard of it, but that's just the feeling I got. That's the feeling
I got as well. But I think he wants to fix that as well. So now that he knows about it, now it can be fixed.
Yeah, and then this was some other part of the conversation that I thought was kind of unusual was he was talking about are we playing how much time are we spending in the game? And he acknowledged that certain players are spending a lot more than other players in the game, and he was specifically talking about alliance leadership roles, and then he was talking about new tools that are coming for leadership. But he said like the everyday player, according to their internal data compared to other mobile games that are similar to Marvel Strike Force, the numbers looked right and that we're not playing the game too much. But then he said it's because we have low quality gameplay. Yeah. And the reason why we're complaining is because we're
doing the low qualities. Yeah. We are doing it, but not the average player. The average player is like, screw Blitz. But I'm still blitzing. I'm doing that stupid stuff.
So he was talking about like this is just his perspective, and my perspective of the conversation is that the amount of time was correct, but it wasn't quality time.
It wasn't fun. We weren't focused on fun. It was focused on chores and just feel like, I have to log and do this. It's like, I get to do this because it's fun. And switching around like some of the event design things.
Yeah, and so he said Blitz is a mess, and he didn't like Blitz. And
nobody likes Blitz. And then event designers like Blitz, and they got yelled at. Is what we were made of.
And then he talked about the open all orbs being a problem because it wasn't fully fleshed out.
That was one of the things that was released at that deadline. Wasn't fully worked, and all these problems that they didn't fully solve got pushed the light a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I guess that with the open all orbs button pings the server 4 times per second, and so they're gonna have to do testing to find out what the correct number is, of whether it's 2 times per second or 1 time per second.
If the entire community opens all their orbs, what are they going to be able to handle? And right now they can't handle it all because it was pushed out early. So.
So unfortunately, that sounded like something that wasn't going to be fixed anytime soon, and that they were going to have to wait to get that. I don't know.
On my flip side, though, I think all right now at least it's going to be correct. I mean, it's going to be correct. It's not going to be just pushed out and just out there. So I look at the positive.
Yeah. And then lastly, one of the questions came up about the Iron Patriot event and, what are you guys doing over there? Why are you isolating the free-to-play players? And how did he word it?
It was a bad tuning.
That's not what he said. He said it was simply shitty tuning.
Oh, okay. I wrote bad tuning in my notes. Maybe I wrote a censored version of my notes, but I wrote bad tuning.
Yeah, that was just shitty tuning. And I was like, oh God. So overall, like, I feel like we've had better communication with the developers. They seem to respond well.
Now is awesome.
Yeah, I feel like they respond better to feedback, and they're looking for feedback from a lot of different ways, whether it's Reddit, Discord, mods on Discord, envoys, or the player voice movement. It feels like that they're open to suggestions. Like they didn't care if we complain. They didn't compare. He said he didn't like to watch videos about us pointing out the bugs, but he said, but that's on me.
It's on them.
He's like, yeah, but that's on me. He says it doesn't feel good when I see you guys, because here's the thing, like, I want the game to get better, and the last month has been kind of rough, right? And there's been
from
issues,
a bug perspective,
bugs and
I guess the Iron Patriot event design.
Yeah, Iron Patriot. But I feel overall, like in aggregate over the last year, things have gone in a better direction. What are you thinking about the game right now?
Very, very positive. I'm very happy playing this, and I don't think I could have said that the same time last year.
Yeah, I was a lot more upset with the game last year. The game is not perfect, but it's headed in a better direction, and so I'm and I also
they're listening. That's the important. That's the important thing for me.
And I feel like this, their willingness to listen seems to have come from him.
Yeah,
and he's kind of mandated it to. That they have to at least engage with the community more.
Yeah, business as usual for the past 5 years of the game is different now. It's a different game. It's not business. It's not how they were doing stuff before.
So head over to Valley Flying's channel. We're going to talk about some other stuff over there. Anything you want to say before we go?
I'm liking the direction of the game.
Yep.
Ryan Jacobson's a good guy.
I think he's okay. I like him. It's better. It's better for sure. Okay. Yeah. No outro. Bye for now.